my lovely viewers. Thank you for joining me today. If you are seeing my face for the first time, my name is Moyo, and the name of my chapter is Chapters with Moyo. I love to do skits sometimes. I feature in skits. If you go through my videos, you will see these skits, and I hope with them, creating content that motivates people and that teaches us good formidable lessons. Also, I like to share stories that are based on real life events. Today, I will be doing something quite different, and I hope to continue with the series of what I'll be doing today. I'll be reviewing a show that I watched. So someone like me, I love watching programs once in a while, and it's not too easy to get to me. Movies, I'm very selective with movies. So I was going through the TV, and on this particular day I asked myself, what do I want to watch? So I went on Netflix and I saw something that caught my attention. The title caught my attention, Saving My Marriage. And I saw new there, so which meant it was recently added. And then the topic, of course, caught my attention. I clicked on it. And another thing that caught my attention and made me glued and intrigued was the beautiful scenery. In the different clips. And then another thing that still made me glued was I saw how real, it's a reality show. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'll be reviewing this show that I watched. It has 13 episodes. And in 2 days, I literally binge watched. First time I watched it, I watched 10 episodes straight. I hardly do that. So this show was just teaching me lessons on and on and on. Not only because the title has to do with saving my marriage, because I'm a married person, and of course every married person, when you see a topic like this, it will catch your attention. It's not only good for the married people to watch this program, I recommend it also for those engaged and planning to get married. The show has various lessons that I would like to share today, and I hope somebody somewhere will indeed have a saved marriage by reason of watching this video. And I encourage you to also now go and watch this show if you happen to be able to find it. It's on Netflix, and I don't know if it's in Netflix Nigeria, but after you watch the video, you can feel free to comment if it's available in Netflix. If you're located in Nigeria, if you can access it on Netflix. In UK, yes, I could access it, and in USA, people also can access the show. Really interesting, beautiful production to watch. So let me go straight into it. In this show, there were 4 couples who came onto the program, and at the beginning of the program, I could see how disgruntled each of these couples were. Each of them faced different challenges in their homes, and I would classify them as couple A, couple B, couple C, couple D. Their names are a bit hard for me to pronounce. I think they are mostly South Africans. So I'll just say couple A, couple B, couple C, couple D. Couple A, you could literally, I might not be talking in the order in which they show them on TV, but I'll be talking as I remember. So couple A, you could see that immediately I noticed this couple, I could see that they looked really peaceful. That was the first impression I had of them. Like, what could the problem of these guys be? They looked peaceful. I could tell that both the husband and wife had the phlegmatic temperament. Because they were so calm. Their tempo was just the same old true. In fact, from the beginning to the end of the program, they never shouted. It was just a cool tempo all through, even when they were airing the problems they had. So the woman, when asked, and before I even go into the problems, I want to say the therapist, oh wow, that woman is so good, so learned. Every piece of information, every piece of sentence that she was just dishing out was just making sense. Wow, she's a good married therapist. And then the other man there, I remember his name Paul. I like his sessions in which it really made them to, he made them to have like games, and at the end of the games, he now made them realize what was the issues in the marriage. But the other woman therapists who did more of talking, and many of them, especially the ladies, ended up crying during her sessions. So let me now go back into talking about the characters or the problems in the marriage. Couple A, the lady said that the problem in her marriage is that they don't have fun. So when asked about their background, they had been married for 10 years. Both husband and wife were unemployed. All through their marriage, they had initially lived with with the husband's parents, and now were living with the wife's parents. And when asked, okay, how did they feed? How did they fend for their children? Their children are even going to private schools. They said Coco, that's their grandma, is one who gives them money anytime they need it. Wow. And it was so surprising because they said that this posed a problem in their marriage. So when asked the man, okay, what's the problem in your marriage? He said, well, he feels that he's in a tight space, he's enclosed. He does not like every time the wife's family members are always coming around. He just feels like he needs to breathe. Well, that was the issue. Let's move to couple B. Now, couple B, I could immediately tell that the husband was a very laid-back man, phlegmatic, and the wife was directly opposite, very aggressive, very outspoken, and she was just constantly pointing out the problems, and the problems ranged from he's not giving me my thing I should be doing on the bed. I'm handling every job that we should be doing. So these two, I think the husband was a maintenance man, and the wife decided they were working to work together with him to be like the marketer, and she was complaining that he procrastinates the job, and even after he procrastinates the job, he's not handling the finances well, that she then has to do marketing, and then also has to now be handling the financial aspect, and now has to handle the customer service aspect, that she feels like she's doing everything and he is just not pushful enough, that she feels like she's being the man in the marriage. So when they asked for him, okay, what's the problem? He's not married. He was not even forthcoming, and truly, the woman said that that's even another problem, that he's always acting as the victim. He's always acting as if he's not doing anything wrong. That she was calling him selfish, and I was really pitying the man. So let's move to couple C. Couple C. Oh, these ones, in fact, immediately I saw them, my heart just went out for them. I was just rooting for them, that I hope these guys make it, because this is tough. And in fact, I could see the woman, she looked hot. It looked like she was carrying a lot of hot and pain. You could visibly see her like, oh dear. Well, anyway, immediately she was asked what the problem in the marriage is. She said, my husband has a drinking problem. And immediately the husband interrupted. In fact, that was the first interruption of the show, because all the other couples will even allow the wife to talk before the husband responds. The husband still kept on interrupting. What do you mean I have a drinking problem? If I take 1 or 2 glasses of wine, you will say I'm drunk. Meanwhile, whenever I drink, it does not mean I'm drunk. Then she kept on explaining that you don't know how you react anytime you drink. Anytime you drink, you always get more aggressive. You say things you're not supposed to say. I always have to lock the children in the room because you get aggressive with the children. So the man started saying, no, I don't have a drinking problem. It's because you keep on nagging on me that I have to respond the way I'm responding. And it's just like you use makeup. It's just like me saying you have a makeup problem because you're using makeup. So it was so funny, but they went back and forth. So the therapist said something. She said, immediately I read the brief about both of you, I knew that you guys will be facing a lot of challenges in the home, because the wife is an employed banker, has a good job, but the man is jobless. Let's move to couple 4. Couple 4 happened to be the only couple that were not yet married, but were engaged, planning to get married. And honestly, the first few episodes I watched, I was just telling myself, what are these guys doing together? Because I didn't see the connection. I was like, who is forcing you guys to get married? I didn't see the connection. It's 13 episodes, so I'll just try to summarize the lessons that I've learned from each of the couples. I noticed that at the beginning of the show, each of these couples, they looked totally broken. They sounded broken. There was a huge problem. But by the end of the episode, by the episode 13, they were full of smiles. I could literally see that the weight had been lifted off their shoulders. And that brings me to point number 1, that when marriages have issues, the best thing, although they did theirs on television, they televised their own, but then I see that they did it as a last resort. That don't let us give up on our marriage. Let's just try this last thing. Let's go to this professional therapist and even put it on TV like we are saving our marriage literally even through this. So don't sweep issues under the carpet because they just fester, they just build on and on and on and on. So when they address these issues, you could literally see each of them were like breathing a sigh of relief. They were full of smiles. They were happy. They were not smiling when they were in episode 1. So now talking about each of the couples and the lessons that the therapist and the other therapist Paul was able to bring out from each of these couples. Now from couple A, the ones that I said were very laid back and seemed phlegmatic, and all the money was being given to them. The first thing the therapist said was that you guys have to even have a vision for your family. What is your vision for your marriage or family? Because I could also observe that they were clueless. These guys were just living life as life passes by. They didn't push themselves to actually even work, get a job just because money was coming easily. And they were not even giving a good influence to their children. And that reminds me, another issue that the wife said she had was that the man was just so lenient, the husband. Anytime she corrects her kids, she noticed that her children even misbehave more when the father is around. Because he's so lenient, he does not scold them, he does not even correct them. And even when she's trying to correct them, he will be like she's too hard or too strict on them. So that was an issue. So he tried to say, the therapist pointed something very important, that both of them should come together as husband and wife and have a vision, a clear vision for their family. I like the idea of the action board that she and the other therapist gave to each of the family members. They should have an action board. Clear goals. What do you want for your children? What kind of value system do you want to create in your family? What kind of jobs do you want to do at it? What did you have passion for maybe when you were young? Because these guys did not even know the kind of career they should even venture in. So that's the first thing they just need to do, to even find out, have a clear vision, and then also they need to get a job around the area of their passions. Moving to couple B. Couple B is the one that I said the husband is laid back and the wife really aggressive, hardworking, and then complaining on all the work she was doing. To me, when I was just watching these guys, I was angry with the woman because I was like, good man, bad woman. But there are some pointers also, because even when I was pitying the husband, I realized that actually the husband also has a part to play. The woman kept on complaining that he does not satisfy her in bed, that they will go for 2 months, almost right now, in fact, it's almost 3 months, and the husband is always denying her of conjugal rights, and she was literally crying on the show. And so they asked this man, the man was now saying that his own drive is low, that her own drive is high. They said, no, is there a medical issue? That how can you as a married couple, that you are cheating this woman, that is even being selfish, that you should even look into it if you feel because it was not like that before. If suddenly you now realize that 2 months or 3 months, or you don't feel like doing it with your wife, and you're just leaving it like that, and you can see she's frustrated, that's even wickedness. So I even thought about it, that it's even true. This man, I was even pitying. He's using another treatment to punish this woman. He's using another method to punish her. So they said, okay, go and even see a medical expert. If you have this low sex drive, it can be sorted out. You don't just leave it like that. And he answered, and at the end of the show, there was one of the episodes that I could see that the woman was looking so happy. The gloominess was gone. The husband himself was looking so happy. And the woman said it, we've done it after a long time. She screamed in front of the TV, literally so happy. And from that point, even to the end of the episode, the woman was just smiling. Like, hey, wow, so all these changes here and there can impact positively one's marriage. So of course, they also talked about her not being aggressive to her husband, tone it down, even when you want to correct him with love. You cannot be beating your husband down every time just because you feel he's more quiet. Talk with love. And then they also told her to, she had obviously anger issues, that she doesn't have to vent anytime she's angry. Practice the breathing in method. Maybe breathe in about 5 times before you now decide to talk. And it's not everything that just comes to your mind to talk. Like coin different ways of saying the same thing. You don't have to be abusive when talking. And I could see the progression that even by the 7th episode, 8th episode, she had really improved. Each of them were taking the feedback and were really improving. So let's move to couple C, the ones that the wife was working and the husband was not working. So first of all, they said, man, please, what do you desire to be in life? He said he has always wanted to be a DJ. They connected him with someone who was an experienced DJ, and that one made a solid point. He said, don't give up. If it's your passion, you will definitely face different, because he said, now that you know him, the DJ was saying, you know me now, Abi. He said, do you know that before you knew me, I was trying my best to be a DJ for 13 years before I now became known. So he said there were many challenges along the way, but he stayed true to his passion and vision, and now he's a DJ. So he was warning him that, okay, you just want to start this path now. Don't say if you are not an accomplished DJ in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you will now give up. No, it's something that you're continually working hard on. And truly, this man actually had the voice for the DJ, a voice for a radio person. He wants to be in the radio radio industry, but he wants his voice to be on radio, maybe to have his own radio shows. And so they talked to him about trying to get a job. And one thing I like is that because they noticed he was so defensive around that alcohol. Anytime they want to mention alcohol like this, in fact, at the point they said he does not want to continue with the show anymore because they are attacking him. They are saying he's an alcoholic and he's not a drunkard. He said, no, I'm not saying that, but can you do something? So the wife now pointed something that the alcohol is a major problem in their marriage. That then I said, okay, what do you even want to do this one? The man I said, do you know that this woman buys alcohol for me? I was surprised. She now said she's not even asking him to stop drinking. That all she's asking is that do not drink alcohol when you want to go and pick the children from school. Do not drink alcohol when you want to drive. That's all she's asking. Be responsible. And the man just was a very defensive man, to be candid. And the therapist kept on saying, are you hearing your wife? She's not even saying stop. She's saying drink responsibly. And me, how do you expect a wife to feel comfortable that when you want to go and pick kids from school, that's when you drink? In the morning you wake up, you drink. Obviously, the therapist does not want to put it in his face that you have a problem, alcohol problem. But everybody can see that he had a problem. So, and then they talk to the wife that the wife should also try. They didn't use the word overbearing, but what I could tell was that truly she was under some form of pressure. She tended to always like things to be done on time, probably a melancholy. What I would say underlying each and every one of these couples is that what made them fight the most was when their love language was not being satisfied. So there was a session that made each of them identify their love languages, and each of the couples actually admitted that they never knew their own love language, let alone the love language of their spouses. But I will tell you, most of the time, anytime couples are fighting, it's centered around their love tanks not being filled up. So for instance, this woman that kept on complaining that her husband should come back from work, he did not do the dishes, the house is dirty, maybe he's not drinking responsibly and things like that. It's centered around her love language. She was able to see that her love language is act of service. So anytime the love language is not filled, it will look like an attack, like you hate me. So if you are doing quality time for someone whose love language is act of service, you'll be annoying and irritating the person because you're not speaking the language of love to that person. So that's what I could just underline in each of these couples, and it's a common thing in all marriages. We have to know each other's love language because you're married for love, so you have to deliberately fulfill the love language of the other. So let me move to couple number 4, the interesting couple who happened to be engaged, not yet married. So one thing interesting was that as the lady was being interviewed, she kept on playing with her engagement ring. And at the time I was even angry, like, please, why is this girl always looking sad? Who is forcing you to marry this man? She was always bending down. When they asked that question, they just be playing, literally removing and putting it back. The therapist said, I noticed you're always removing and putting back your engagement ring, and that alone is a statement. Are you not in this thing? She now said, actually true, that a part of her wants to go ahead with marrying him, but a part of her is just not in it. And they were able to dig deep and say, okay, what's the issue? And she was able to say, in fact, the therapist was so brilliant because she asked a direct question. She said, has there been any cases of cheating in this relationship? And she said, yes. If I might, she said yes, like that, I was like, this girl, don't marry this stupid man. Because what even pained me was that she said he cheated on her after he gave her the engagement ring. Anyway, they've done their therapy and all that, and I hope the man has learned and changed and all that. But then, that was the underlying issue in those ones. She had to forgive the man and decide, and then they told her Nobody's forcing you. If you know you want to continue with this, you have to fully forgive him and then go on from here. And the man was truly sorry. That's what I learned from the show. And what I would like you all to do is, if you found this content interesting and you're more intrigued, you want to find out more details of this show titled Saving My Marriage, which is a review I'm doing today, go ahead to Netflix and watch this beautiful production. Can you please like, and I love it when you throw positive comments in the comment section. Comments like, I've watched it and this is what I learned. Please, I would like to see such comments in the comment section. Join me again on this Chapters with Moyo, as I bring you more loving content. And please encourage me by subscribing. Thank you. Bye.